Hey, this is Jerry Strauss, host of Hollywood Happy Place. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Do you need some extra motivation in your life? Are you looking to be inspired? If so, then look no further than the Good God Company.
At the Good God Company, their mission is to create and clothe all loving humans with their unique, inspiring, and beautifully designed t-shirts.
All of the products from the Good God Company are equally designed to motivate you and improve your life. From their mugs, workout tanks, to eye-appealing shirts and sweatshirts.
Learn more about their renowned products by visiting thegoodgodcompany.com. That's thegoodgodcompany.com.
The Good God Company is proud to support Public House Media. The Good God Company. I'm feeling good.
This is Ryan Pierce, host of Completely Serious here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Completely Serious, where we talk about sports and have fun with great guests. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Completely Serious. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey, guys.
Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
Brought to you by
The Good God Company.
Check them out at thegoodgodcompany.com.
And check out Public House Media. We
always say, yeah. Check out Public House Media.
Yes.
At PH.
And buy a Keith and Katie coffee mug.
Coffee with Keith and Katie coffee mug. Check them out.
It's amazing.
It is. We are coming at you from outside of Starbucks. Hence the cup right there. David, thanks for joining us as always.
See, it says we can bring him on camera. But don't do it now.
I'm going to see if we can bring David on camera.
We're
I'm going to see if we can bring
David
David on camera right now. If you can't join us, no problem. But it says, hey, bring him on camera. So we're going to try it out. From Starbucks from our local north side area.
Favorite Starbucks. It's about an 11-minute walk.
Mm-hmm.
It's quiet. We can connect to Starbucks Wi-Fi.
All right.
Should we do that?
I think it's trying to connect to the Starbucks Wi-Fi. I think that's where we're having issues with
okay.
with it. All right. So we'll deal with this here for a second.
Up.
Turn the Wi-Fi off.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. That'll be better.
So,
moving forward.
Hi guys.
Yeah, we're at a very comfortable Starbucks area that's closest to our apartment, and like Katie said, it has comfortable places to sit.
And we can sit outside.
And we can sit outside as well. And because there's another one nearby that it's a much more like modern, trendy take, and uncomfortable stools to sit on and things like that. So it's just kind of uncomfortable.
And
anyways,
there's no patio.
The big topic for today on our show is something that Katie wants to talk about: a place to sit.
Yep.
Katie is always concerned about a place to sit down.
When I get on the train or a bus, the first thing I do is size up the people sitting. Am I going to get a seat or not? When it's 8 o'clock rush hour, you don't get to put your purse on the seat next to you. You hold it in your lap so I can sit down.
Fair enough. I told Kate when we first moved here,
yes.
Katie was always like, I'm never going to get on the train, and there's never a place to sit down. And I said, Katie, you're small, and people aren't going to pay attention to you, and people aren't going to be worried about you getting on the train. So you're going to have to kind of, budge your way onto the train yourself. And boy, did Katie she took that suggestion to heart, and now Katie is ruthless.
That's not when I knew I was a Chicagoan.
Absolutely ruthless when it comes to getting on the train.
I pushed myself onto the train, even though there were 5 people behind me that were going to have to wait for the next one. Like, no, I'm not working for today. Shoot. And I made it.
It's all about Katie getting on the train.
My God, what has this place done to me?
So if you haven't read recently in the news, Starbucks has a new policy. The policy is the no purchase, no problem policy, which means that you don't have to purchase anything at a Starbucks. You're allowed to use the restroom, and you're allowed to sit down and hang out if you don't buy anything. And that stems from.
So it comes from. There was an incident in Philadelphia when.
I'm sure you're all familiar with the story, at least somewhat.
We'll run through it real quick. Two people were waiting for a third person to join them, so they hadn't purchased anything yet. And they were asked to leave, and they're like, no, we have a business meeting.
Yep.
And so the manager called the cops on them, and they were arrested, led away in handcuffs. Now the first question is, how did that phone call go?
How do you call the cops?
See, this is, okay, there's many steps that it has to go through. First, the employee has to complain to the manager that they won't go away. And then the manager has to call 911 and complain to the dispatcher they won't go away. And then the dispatcher deems it important enough to tell the police, these guys won't go away. And then the police think it's important enough
have to take
you
people.
Need to go away.
Right. So, yeah. They felt a huge story. Obviously, they felt the need to remove the black gentleman.
I just want to know what that conversation sounded like.
But how does it get to the point where you have to call the police? Anyways, it's out of this world, confusing, and it's a very unfortunate story. Anyways, I'm sure you're all familiar with that part. However, the response to that now is that Starbucks has developed the no purchase policy, which means that you can use their facilities, you can use their Wi-Fi, you can use their bathroom, you can sit down, you can stay as long as you want.
It's basically
a library, and you don't have to purchase anything. It's caused, obviously, as you could imagine, a lot of backlash, a lot of people on one side of the fence and a lot of people on the other side of the fence. And there are a lot of people saying, oh, that's going to be a total homeless problem now at the Starbucks, and it's going to be overrun by homeless people, and it's going to be such an undesirable place to, get a cup of coffee, whatever. And some people are like, hey, good for you, allow as many other people in as you want to. So Katie has more of an opinion on this story than I do.
I don't care who you are. If you don't have a cup of coffee in front of you, and you're taking up a spot.
If you're taking Katie's spot.
That means there's nowhere for me to sit. You don't get to be there.
It's all about Katie getting a spot to sit. It's about Katie getting a spot to sit down. As we mentioned before,
I need to sit.
The place has good seats. On the subway, Katie needs a place to sit down.
For example, Keith works by this terrible Starbucks. And
it's not terrible. It's very nice.
It's terrible because everyone's always there. It doesn't have
It's very busy.
Starbucks never really have much room. There isn't always a lot of seating. And this place is really tiny, very tiny, not much for room. And it's always packed. If I meet them for coffee over lunch or something, there's never anywhere to sit.
Always very busy.
Ever. But there's that huge long table in the middle. There's always that big one, like that communal table. Mm-hmm. And people by themselves are often sitting in the booths designed for two people. Mm-hmm. Instead of at the long table, designed for single people.
Everybody wants a private place to sit. Nobody's going to choose to sit in the unprivate place. Everybody's going to pick the private place.
If I look up and see that there are two people waiting and there's an opening at the long table, I will move.
That remains to be seen.
I am that considerate. Unless it's my seat.
This is all based on theory. So you're concerned about you getting a place to sit and somebody without a cup of coffee. Yep. This is what she said. She's concerned about the new policy now.
Yep.
Is that if somebody doesn't have a cup of coffee sitting down, and that means she doesn't have a place to sit, she's going to be upset. However, she is claiming that if she's already has a cup of coffee and she is sitting down, then she will then get up and give up her spot for two other people to make it comfortable for them to sit down.
In theory. Because I would never go by
It's in-
myself and never be in that situation.
It's in theory.
So
It's
I
like,
can definitely say that's absolutely what I would do.
it's like science. It's always evolving, and you can never be quite sure until you've really tested out.
I think it's lousy that possibly you're depriving paying customers of seats when people who have not paid are taking up prime seating. My seating.
All right. So let's move away from the emotion.
I will stare at you with a bad face.
Adriana,
if I see
thank you for joining.
Without coffee in front of you, and there's nowhere else to sit. I'm coming after you.
Let's move away from the totally emotional
Are you
part that
listening
Katie.
to me?
I've
Are you hearing
I've been listening to her for a while. It's very interesting. Now, it just kind of going completely, just open it up for conversation. Feel free to make, comments or questions or anything like that right down there below. It offers up a very interesting conversation. Starbucks is obviously reacting to the backlash that they've got while opening the store up to everyone. Is that the right response? Does a company that's out to make a profit, do they have to change their policies, which could potentially cost them money in the long run? I don't think it is. The more people they welcome in their doors, the more people are going to want to buy coffee. So
yeah, that's my thing. You can't go into Starbucks and sit there for 8 hours for free doing your work and not smell that all day and not get something.
It's like the McDonald's thing. Apparently, back in the day, McDonald's, they were funneling the smells of their fries to the vent at the front. So
really?
It's what I heard. So when you walked in, you would smell that fries right away, and then you would have to get their fries. But it's an interesting theory that Starbucks is going with. We'll see if it's going to, hurt them in the long run, if they're going to get a lot of complaints, or if anything.
I'm already complaining, Starbucks.
She's already complaining. So we're sitting outside when inside there are a plethora of seats. There are so many seats for her to sit down, but she wanted to sit down outside. Anyway, it's like I said, it's interesting.
Happen. There have been times when there's nowhere to sit.
All right. Katie just needs something to be upset about.
I do. I always need something to be feisty about.
But what do you guys think? Should it be a public space open for everyone? Do you think that I don't think that it's going to lead to a point where Starbucks is overrun by so many homeless people. Who cares? Give somebody a place to sit down. I don't care. I'll take my coffee to go.
Unless it's my seat.
That's what. You can't say you don't care unless it's your seat, because unless it's interfering with that person, they don't care. You can't say, well, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works for everybody. If it doesn't affect you, you don't care.
I say that. If it doesn't affect me, I don't care. I think that's fair.
I mean, it's fair, but it's not a huge revelation. It's like that. Well, it doesn't affect me, so it doesn't bother me. That's what everybody's take is on everything. Nobody's bothered by something unless it's directly affecting them.
Have you ever had that conversation with someone like, oh, they're so nasty, I hate that person, and then you say, well, they've always been nice to me, and then you think, who's the bad guy then? Are you the bad guy because you're letting this behavior go away just because they're nice to you? Now we've gone off on a tangent.
I don't know. But anyways, we'll see if Katie has a spot to sit down in the future.
If I have my what?
You see if you have a spot to sit down in the future.
Yeah. I'm going to start recording all of my seating interactions.
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
See, before the show started, I said, okay, we're going to have to, let's develop a platform where we can discuss certain points and everything, and it'll be very organized. And then the second I hit play, Katie goes off on this huge tangent about how she always wants a place to sit down at a Starbucks.
Yeah, we had a plan written out, which I forgot at home. And
It's not like a plan. It's just like a certain way.
it was like,
just
okay, this is what we know. This is an outline of what we're going to talk about, instead of just, but I forgot it at home. So I got to go,
All right. Well,
So anyway, we don't usually have serious conversations on here. And
I mean, we kind of brought up the topic, but I don't know if we really had a serious discussion about it.
I think it was as serious as we tend to get. It is a very serious issue.
It's a very serious issue that Katie made about herself and how she wanted a place to sit down.
Yes. Because everyone's talking about how it's such a serious issue, and I think that maybe we talk about other things now. Like my not having a place to sit.
All right. Moving on.
I've lost myself. I don't know what we're talking about.
I've lost her a while ago. Katie always wants a place to sit down and have her coffee. Well, look at this. We have a place to sit down. This rule has been in place for like a week now, and Katie still has a place to sit. So, congratulations to Starbucks for.
I'm watching though.
Yeah.
I am
All right.
waiting.
We've come to the point of the show where we play NFL or NBA. I give Katie
Or
three
Familia
names,
Katie.
and we decide. And Katie has to guess if this person played in the NFL or the NBA.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Player number 1, Jake Plummer.
What?
Jake Plummer.
Jake Plummer. Sounds like a football name. Plumbers are generally large people, which would make them a football player. So, NFL.
NFL is correct.
Is he a large plumber type?
He was a quarterback. Jake Plummer. No, it was just not a large plumber type.
He's not a lineman.
No.
Would be the more stereotypical plumber.
Quarterback. He was a quarterback. No longer in the NFL.
Okay.
Player number 2, Antoine Randall. Antoine was his first name. Randall was his last name.
Randall. I'm going to say NFL because I really thought there was an Antoine I could think of in it. Antonio, not Antoine. I'm going to say NFL.
NFL. What do you mean? What? I told you his name. Why are you trying to give him another first name?
That's how I decide if they're basketball or football. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So there's a Jabari Parker. So he should be an NBA player.
All right, and who's the end? But there's you tried to associate Antonio with Antoine.
I know because I couldn't think of any other Antoines. So I had to go to the next closest, which is Antonio.
Antoine Jameson.
Antonio Freeman.
Antoine Jameson played in the NBA.
I don't know who that is.
NFL is correct. All right. And number 3, Rashaan Salam.
Salam?
Rashaan Salam. Like S-A-L-A-M, I think.
I'm going to say NBA, like a grand slam. No, that's baseball. I'm going to say MLB. I'm going to say it's a dark horse. We pulled it out of nowhere. MLB, Keith.
NFL.
Oh,
What do all these 3 players have in common?
they're all former players.
They are all former players, and what else do they have in common?
They're all quarterbacks.
Incorrect.
They all played for the same team.
Incorrect. I'll let you know. They are all on the ballot to be
In the Hall of Fame.
the College Football Hall of Fame. The College Football Hall of Fame recently released their ballots for people to receive votes, and all 3 of these guys are in it.
That's awesome.
Jake Plummer, he's a quarterback, played at Arizona State.
Okay.
And Antoine Randall was he has a very interesting story. He was a quarterback his first 3 years of college football, and then he moved to wide receiver his senior year. He realized that he probably, along with some other reasons, he played at Indiana, and he realized one of the reasons was that he probably was not going to be a great NFL quarterback, wasn't going to get a lot of looks from NFL teams. So he agreed to switch to wide receiver as a senior, so he could get some more exposure as a wide receiver and potentially have a better NFL career. And he did. He played wide out. I think he won he might have even won 2 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So,
way to go!
At least one. And Rashawn Slamm, former Heisman Trophy winner for Colorado, he was a first-round draft pick for the Bears, I think, but never really accumulated into much after that. And I think he just recently passed away. So that's too bad. But anyways, yep, all 3 NFL guys. Katie was 2 for 3 today. So we'll see later on. You know what? Katie's going to forget about this. And then once these guys are probably elected into the Hall of Fame and selected, I'm going to give them all 3 names. I'm going to give her all 3 names again. And we'll see how she does.
And he'll say, because they were all just inducted.
Yep. And Katie will be like, wow, I've never heard of these guys before. Anyways, this has been Coffee with Keith.
I will draw the same conclusion about the plumber, though.
Yep. Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
We talked about Starbucks and their new policies. What do you know? Katie still has a place to sit down.
I do. Share your thoughts with us.
Yeah.
We can be serious, too.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that they've gone too far with their policy with allowing everybody in? Do you think it's just right? And how do you think this is going to turn out for them in the future?
And how do you feel when you don't have a seat?
I just wanted a place to sit down. That's a Simpsons reference. David, I know David caught that Simpsons reference. I just wanted a place to sit down. I think Grandpa Simpson said that on one episode. It was hilarious. Anyways, this has been Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
Brought to you by
The Good God Company.
Everybody have a great week, and we will see you again for more Coffee with Keith and Katie on Thursday at 7:30. See you then.
Bye, guys.
Shut it off.
End it.